This is a Harper Guys production.
The Harper contains foul language and adult material. If you are easily offended and thin-skinned, you should hit the stop button now. And if you are not a complete idiot, let's get this party started.
Let's get down to brass tacks, gentlemen. If I was informed correctly, the clock is ticking. Is that right, Jimmy?
You know, but good luck arguing that in court. Let me get down to brass tacks.
Listen, let's get down to brass tacks here. How much for the ape?
Jack, let's just cut the crap and get down to brass tacks here.
Are you hating on Neil Diamond?
Holy fuck Neil Diamond.
Our dream of deathmatch is going to come to fruition, and my golden ticket is going to pay off. Hoo-ah. Don't you fucking hoo-ah me, motherfucker.
I want the ability to time travel.
Dumb. This is stupid. Ladies and gentlemen, with me as always. Oh, we're doing it live. Welcome to the Harper, ladies and gentlemen. With me as always, my co-host, Adam the Harper Harperson.
That's right.
Getting started off with a little PSA.
Let's do it. Let me put my lenses on. Me. Welcome to the #1 common sense podcast in the world. Let's get ready to mumble. Episode 120. Please visit us at theharperguys.com where you can find our Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube links. You can also listen to us anywhere podcasts are found. Ideas, complaints, or just feel like saying, what's up? Email us at theharperguys@gmail.com.
Pow. It's a pretty Micro Machines intro there tonight.
Thank you.
Flying by the seat of your pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can get that Micro Machine thing going.
Yeah, love it.
Sometimes I can't.
Love it.
I had a couple things. Oh! What'd you think about the show the other night?
Which show?
The Red Hot Chili Peppers show.
Dude, that was fire, man.
For you all that don't know, we may have mentioned it. We may have. But if we didn't, Jake got us tickets for the Red Hot Chili Peppers at Blossom. Is it Music Center?
Yes.
Okay. And it was sweet. It was packed, jam-packed.
Sold out show.
Which means long lines at the pisser, but great music.
Yes.
What I wanted to ask you was, because you live much closer to Blossom.
Yes.
We didn't talk about getting out of there.
Whoa.
Now, you were actually closer to the exit than we were. Much closer. Even though getting out doesn't really mean you're getting out. You're still in miles of traffic.
Yes.
How long did you hang out?
So we've got a pretty good system for this. Whenever we go, we get about the same depth. I mean, we were probably within 3 rows of where we were for the last concert we were there, right?
You're talking parking-wise.
Yeah. So what we kind of do is when you parked in the outfield there, you can see where all the cars get funneled into basically 2 different lanes on that end of the park to get out, right? So what I've mentally figured out is that if you can get to where the cars go into the main line of traffic, right? So you get to the top of the hill. For those of you who have never been there or don't know where Blossom Music Center is, there's a giant hill field that they park you on, right? And they take you back out onto this main road, which leads into the actual road to get out. If you can get yourself onto that main road, it's usually about 10 minutes from there. So I use deductive logic. We sit there, watch the crowd, see what's going on, and then we skibbity-doo our way up there. So I think it took us about 3 to 5 minutes to get onto the actual road, and then true as time. So we probably chilled for almost an hour though before we actually made the endeavor to get out.
So when we came in from the other side.
Yeah.
And they put us in like this little weird entrance, and we kind of went up, and we from where you guys were on top of the mountain.
Yeah.
Top, we were like over in the valley.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you what, we sat there for 40 minutes and not one car moved.
Yep.
Because they're going out somewhere else.
Yeah.
And apparently they weren't letting them out because something at some point after almost an hour should move even 3 feet. These cars were not moving.
Right.
So we look towards the right, which we're still good ways from you guys, but cars are moving. And this truck beside me I'm like, dude, go. Because there's nobody beside him, but I can't do anything if he doesn't go.
Yeah.
Because we're both like pointed, we're on a very incline
Yeah.
parking position, but the road's right in front of us and all these cars are just sitting there. And I'm like, he starts to rock and then his wheels are spinning. I'm like, bro, you're not rocking a 4-wheel drive. What are you doing? I mean, I've owned a truck one time without 4-wheel drive. Never do it again.
No.
And he spinning the wheels, and then apparently grew a brain or the marijuana fog lifted or something. And then he locked it in and drove right out. And I'm like, whoop, we're out of here too. And then we went right out within 5 minutes. We were out where you guys had gone out.
Yeah.
So we sat there for 40 minutes, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh, look at those people. Let's join them.
Yes.
So that was cool.
Yeah.
Still for us was a shit long time because we're going way back home. But party was awesome. Thanks again for that.
For sure, dude. Great show. The only thing I'm going to say, and you know how I feel about this, a band that's been around that long, anything that ever crapped the top 10 that they've ever done should be in the play set and then fill back in from there if you have extra time and whatever your set time is. They missed some songs, and I didn't love
lot.
that. I mean, that's the one
lot.
thing I didn't love. I mean, they hit Give It Away and Under the Bridge at the end, which...
Those were encore songs.
Right, but like those are two like absolutely have tos. You know what I mean? Like if they're going to play 2 songs, those are probably the 2 they're going to play. But
They only played for like an hour and 15 minutes.
it's like an hour 40.
I don't think so.
It was. Like we checked it out because I was checking. Like you can read all that stuff online, ahead and after time, and it sounds like most of their shows are an hour and a half to 2 hours. Like they, for whatever reason, on
Well,
this tour, they're not doing 3
They're
hour.
61, 62 years old. Things are different.
Just saying.
I mean, I'm sure the Rolling Stones aren't rocking for 3 hours straight.
I don't know, man. Like some of the reports you read, like I don't know how much you know about like what the Rolling Stones have been up to, man.
I don't.
Dude, like Mick Jagger is 80, but like has abs, and he has 2 full semi trucks that follow them around. He is like a workout nut. Like everybody thinks of them as like the last of like the crazy drug infused era. That dude is like hyper vigilant about everything health wise.
Well, they were.
And like takes care of everything like related to his voice. Like there's a lot of speculation that dude's going to be touring in his 90s.
Probably, if his band. I mean, can you believe his bandmates are all alive still?
That's the crazy one.
The one thing I do know is that like they were drug infused for
Yeah,
a long time, but
sure.
then at some point I remember the guitarist saying that Keith, you ignorant slut. He said, yeah, I used to be like an 8-ball and some whiskey to get me going. And now he goes, it's like, I forget what he said, a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
You know, that's all I need, whatever. So they definitely have toned it down.
It's pretty sick.
And that's probably why they're still alive.
Yeah. Good show. Yeah.
It was a good show.
Yeah.
I did have one other question for you.
Do it.
Now, this is a deep dive into previous shows. Not really a deep dive, but we talk about the property once in a while and going down and mowing and doing all this work. I'm pretty sure we've talked about that. You had to have talked about that a few times.
Probably.
But I had a question I wanted to ask you on air. Not that it mattered, but I forgot to ask you while we were golfing, which
Sure.
was a blast. You said you got the little mower or the pull behind working.
The red.
But do you
Not the pull behind. Not the pull behind.
Oh.
The little, remember the red
The
push
push.
mower that you
Okay.
fought for like an hour and couldn't get to
Twice.
start? Yeah.
And then it ran in between though.
Yeah.
Like 3 different visits. The middle visit it ran like fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I thought you got the pull behind because I'm like,
No,
The last time we messed with
no,
the pull
no.
behind, the shit was smoking.
No, we've given that to the grass gods. It sits there and it is going to collect rust until the end of time, just because we feel like every once in a while the grass gods need a symbolic offering so that they know that we still submit to whatever they throw at us. So, nope, no, the other push mower. So we push
The
mowed
push
that whole
mower.
thing.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Dude, I can't even hear anybody say that now without thinking it's Jason Bourne. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
Have you ever seen the Bourne movies?
Yeah.
Oh man, so like it's in the first movie where like the guy that's like the director of like
30
that
years ago. You
NSA
want me to
or
remember
whatever.
this?
Because it's like, dude, it's been a meme so many times. Because it's like the first time that they see him on film because they think that he
Right.
was supposed to have dead. He goes, Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne. And then like there's memes all over the internet of like fat guy doing like a toe touch, and then like it'll cut to that guy and be like, Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne. You've never seen any
No.
of these? Holy shit, they're some of the best memes on the internet, man.
Well, that's interesting.
Apparently for us, because we're old, do you ever, so there's something I want to touch on real quick.
Yeah.
So do you ever, a couple different things actually, if I
Good.
can roll into a couple quick topics here.
Yes, I got some quick hitters. Go ahead.
Do you ever like send your kids memes or like show your kids memes? Like they don't ever like, I sent Sujin probably, we were talking about memes the other night and he's showing me stuff that like for me is just stupid.
Yeah.
You know?
The humor's different.
Right, it's like way different. So like I started sending him like a bunch of my memes, like just sending them to him. Like you know who the Weekend is, right?
Yeah.
So I've got one of him. It's like Wednesday Adams with his face on it, and it says when you think it's the weekend, but it's only Wednesday. Right, like shit like that. You know Buffalo Bill from The Silence of the Lambs, one with him on it, and it was like if you need thicker skin, I've got some in the basement.
Right.
You know, like shit like that, you know? And like he was just like not feeling any of it. Like,
not funny.
like, what is it about that? Because I feel like at the same time, like, and maybe it's part of our age now, but I feel like I grew up with a lot of my dad's comedy, right? To where it was like the Three Stooges and stuff like that. Like I used to laugh my ass off at that kind of stuff as a kid, you know? And like that dumb humor, I always got a kick out of, you know what I mean? And then for us, that turned into the Farleys and the Sandlers and
Yeah.
like, you know, Jim Carrey and that kind of stuff that it's like, maybe, I don't know, maybe kids just really do have a completely different way of looking at humor these days.
I don't know. I mean, I agree with you, but maybe it's because they haven't seen the movies.
Yeah.
Some of them.
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. I just feel like I keep trying to like he doesn't like I tease him and I'll be like, don't worry. Someday you'll mature and you'll find the real humor in this stuff, you know?
Well, I'll tell you what though. You bring up the Three Stooges. When they redid them
Yeah.
not too long ago.
Yeah.
One of the funniest lines that my kids is kind of like the dad joke.
Yeah.
Of for my kids, it was they were up on a church or something working,
Yeah.
and the church bell flies off and just smacks this guy right or this woman or one of them right in the face, and the Three Stooges are going, hey, who was that? I don't know. Did you recognize him? Not sure, but the face rings a bell. It's just like, they wanted to say that. They wanted to say that, but they're like, how do we get, oh, let's just have the bell fall off.
I do love that. That's awesome. I was just curious about the comedy. Then I had another question for you.
Yes.
Have you run into anything with your son where like he's starting to try to be a little bit competitive with you, but now like he hasn't been able to like quite take you down at it yet? Have you guys?
You mean like with a?
I don't care if it's foosball, poker, like whatever it is. Are you getting to that age to where like you're starting to do that kind of stuff, or like not so much yet?
Oh no, he wants to beat me every time.
Yeah.
And there's simple things like Uno where you don't have as much control. It's not
Yeah.
like poker or like chess.
Yeah.
He has not beaten me at chess yet.
Yeah.
Things like that where I'm ruining the day that it's going to happen.
Right.
But I mean, like, let's just say chess, for instance. He's like so close, and as soon as that fatal move happens,
Yeah.
he just wants to flip the board because he
Yeah.
knows I'm going to win. He's like, damn
Yeah.
it, I was like,
Yeah.
should have beat me stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So Sujin has beat me in chess. I will like he's a very good chess player for 16. He doesn't play as much. It doesn't seem like right now, but like he's pretty decent on a chessboard. But he's also classic to the age. Like one big mistake, and I know I got him.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if he gives away a rook early, like he's in trouble. You know what I mean? Then he's going to leave his queen unprotected and all that. But no, so like two things, and I thought you'd appreciate this. Like two things really in like the last couple of weeks. Poker. So like he's been wanting to play more poker, you know what I mean? To where it's like I've sat down with him a couple of times and like, dude, I just take it. Like all of it. You know what I
You
mean?
do that to your friends too.
But like it's great because it's like like you know me, and like not to give too much away to anybody that ever plays with me, but like I don't bluff a lot. Like I feel like I get my hand caught in the cookie jar every time I try. I'm not a big bluffer. You know what I mean? I'd rather play my hand strategically. I mean, like mid hands, I still play a lot of. You know what I mean? But like if I don't have absolutely nothing, like I ain't trying to usually buy pots on zero. You know?
Right.
But it's like the one time I'm like I check raised his buddy that was sitting there playing with us, and like neither one of these kids really know exactly what they're doing, and it's harder to play sometimes with people that don't like know the games inside and out, you know?
Yeah, because they're usually going to stay in and catch something.
Right. So I check raised him, right? And he's like, you can't do that. I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, when you got a hand and you get somebody to bet into you, then you go over top of them. And he was like, oh man, he's like, you're really good at betting. And I'm like, thank you. And his buddy's like, well, I got to see it now. So he throws in. So like the one time that I shot my shot, I lost on that. But the poker.
Oh, you were bluffing?
Oh yeah, the one time, and I get caught with it. But the one that I know you'll love. So we've been talking a lot about cornhole, right? So we've been playing 1-on-1. I don't know if you ever play 1-on-1 with Caden, to where it's like you throw down, you walk down, throw back, walk down, throw back. You know, to where the very first game I haven't played in a couple of years. You know, we busted out the boards earlier this year. Very first game, right? He's up like 14-2, like smoking me. And I'm like, man, come on. Like, just start shooting the board. Just, you know what I mean? Like, you got to like talk yourself back into the game a little bit. I think he had me like 20-10. He went over, right? Because like we play that you have to land right on it, like the real rules. Well,
right.
Dude, from then on, like I knew I had him. Like you could just see it, right? Dude, I think I'm up to like 11-0 now because we keep playing, and it's like, and like it's like I bet 80% of the games he's had me down.
Yeah,
and it's just so funny because it's like, it's so funny to like watch this. It's different than like when you have a girl, you know what I mean? Because it's like,
not for me.
Like you'd have loved it. Like the last game we played, he was up again. I don't know, 14-5 or something like that, you know, and just chirping and just chirping. And just chirping, you know, like the whole time, you know. And he's like, that's it. I just got to talk trash the whole time. I just stopped talking to him. Like I just ignored that he was even there. And I had like one big round, like 3 in, 1 on, you know, one of these. And he's just like, and then like it got down to the end, and like he threw one off, and all I had to do was put it on. And he just like sat down. He's like, I hate this. I'm like, don't worry, one day, man. So I don't know. It's a cool period that's going to come to an end very, very soon.
Yeah.
You know, like I think if he's not as good as, he's better than me, like pretty close.
Yeah.
It's just the mental part of it. It's like, man, I brought all that up just because I think that we forget sometimes. We get used to being the age that we are, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know everything that an 80-year-old knows, but I think that sometimes we forget that, you know, at 45, we're not the same kids that we once were, you know what I mean? To where it's like our perspectives are heavier and different, and like we can handle situations, even something as trivial as that, but way different than a 16 or 17-year-old kid.
We can also focus way more.
Yeah.
Than a 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old. Like Brianna, for instance, you were saying it's easier or different with girls. For me, it's not, because she is much more athletic than my son, and she is more like me when she needs to focus. Yeah. But she doesn't have. This is the difference though with her. She never plays cornhole. Oh. So when I get it out,
so she don't get competitive about it.
Well, she wants to beat me. There was a couple years in a row where I'd be out there and she'd be out there playing with me and all the time. And then, you know, she's 18, she's doing her own thing now. Sure. But, dude, a couple times it was like, well, it's, 16-8. Are you going to seal this one? I don't say that. I don't say it.
Oh, if you did, that'd be great.
But then she just blows it. I mean, she's been so close before. I mean, maybe even like 18-14, you've got this. Right. And then just can't do it. Yeah. But someday, maybe. Yeah. But then she'll still come out there, if I'm out there throwing the bags by myself, just because I like to stay tuned up with that, because I never know when I'm going to be playing. Yeah. Oh, and speaking of that, I installed an app because for some reason, I'm just jonesing to play cornhole. Okay. It doesn't mean I'm going to go play a lot more. Sure. I have this one tournament I play every year, and I told you I'd like to start another one.
Get an annual going?
Yeah, or something. May not even need to, because this app, I forget what it is. I don't want to...
don't want to plug it on the show.
Monetize it right now. But it's cool. But when you log in, you can actually look for tournaments. And a whole bunch of people must use this app. Yeah. They may use more than one app to broadcast their shit, but all kinds of shit from Wadsworth, tailgaters.
Do you feel like you're good enough though?
Yes.
Really?
I do.
Do you? Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things. It's like, as we get older, we don't really have time. At least I don't in my regular life to be like a leisure sports champion. And it's like, I don't know. I see some of these people play, and it's just like 2 out of 4 are going in every time. They never miss the board unless it hits another bag and flies off.
The boards that you and I built, those are sticky boards.
Those are actually United Cornhole Association. We went through everything.
I know. I'm not saying they're bad. I love my cornhole boards. But what I'm saying is, compared to a lot of boards other people bring out, those are sliders. I mean, you got to hit, 6 inches from the bottom, and that baby's you have a better chance of getting a cornhole. If you hit it in the middle, it's probably going off the back.
Yeah.
Of course, it depends on your velocity,
Your
and all that other
loft,
shit.
your torque, all of the other fun aspects.
But it is a lot more easier on those fast boards to cornhole. You
Yeah.
just once you get that rhythm, it's like boom,
Yeah.
slide up, boom, slide up.
Right.
Our boards, they're different, man. You can hit our boards on the left of the hole, and that baby will make a right hand turn.
Yeah.
Like it grips that
Yeah.
that ply.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Which is it's supposed to.
Right, and you have to throw it a lot lower if you want to get that same
Yeah.
slide. But you have to work at it. Like I normally like to throw a little higher
Yeah.
and stick them, but obviously that's not the name of the game. You want to throw them in the hole.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. But the last couple years I've played at this 1 year event tournament, I've done really, really well. Could have been on the way certain things went out and happened. I'm not going to really get into it, but I had more than enough opportunity to seal the deal and do well. But anyways, I'm not saying I would be champion, but some of these tournaments I'm looking on here are like 21-0, like it's over all the time and you win.
Yeah.
It's not that you break and you have to go back.
Yeah. It's just how many
It's-
holes can you shoot?
It's because they want to get this shit over with. I
Yeah.
understand that. They don't want this thing to be lasting 6 hours. They want it to be 2 or 3 hours and,
Sure.
and done. But anyways, I don't know. Leisure sports are amazing.
I love leisure sports.
Now that
But I don't know. Like I feel like if you don't have time to dedicate to them, and then like you try to go get in open tournaments, like there's people that like that's what they do.
No, I know. And I'm not saying I would be the best, but I think I'm good enough to compete. Yes.
Yeah.
For me, but now I will take. Like before this tournament, for instance, I got the boards out maybe 3 times.
Yeah.
And I spent about an hour each time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's for me, that's considerable amount of time.
Yeah.
To be out there throwing the bags.
Yeah.
But I think it's fluid enough that that's about the time where I know I'm doing well, and it's okay.
Yeah. So like if you're going to go to a tournament, are you going to like warm up at home before you go? Are you going to throw a few ins?
No, what I would do is I would play, like if it was a Saturday tournament, I'd probably try to have the boards out on Wednesday,
Yeah.
Thursday,
Yeah.
at my house, throw to just feel dialed in, and then when I'm there, I would definitely warm up.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, like I bowl in a bowling league. I always feel like that about bowling. Like I walk in, I rock like a 190s, mid 190s average. You know what I mean? But it's like there's dudes that like this is all they do.
Yeah.
It's like they bowl 2 nights a week and then like they play tournaments all year long too. It's like, don't you want to do something else? You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to be mean. Like they're great people.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's like I don't know. I'm just not built for that. I guess. Like if I was gonna if my whole life was leisure sports, it would be like cornhole Monday, bowling Tuesday, pool league Wednesday,
Golf on Thursday.
right? Darts on Friday. You know what I mean? Saturday, Sunday, football all day, and then right back into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not built to like have that one thing that just dominates. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah. All right. I'm glad it's not just me.
Okay.
All right.
Anything else?
Sorry to derail you early. I just
No, there's no derailing on this show.
Few things to bring up and chit chat
You
about
had
early.
I was watching some of the show from last month that I finally got put on
Yeah.
YouTube. It had been, I think it took me a week to get
Yeah,
the
it
show
was up on the other sites, but
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, I was going to ask you one more thing.
Yeah.
Because we had talked about it. I know it's only been a few days.
Yes.
Did you ever go back and watch the Rogan special?
No, not yet.
Okay. You get a chance, you got to do it.
That's only been, well, I guess it's almost been a week.
Yeah, it's been a few days. I was just curious.
By the way, took my daughter to Kent State yesterday.
Yeah?
Did the whole, college starts next week.
Yeah.
But she was going over to Stark State, which is an
Oh, yeah.
offshoot of Kent.
Yeah, satellite.
And then she decided,
Main
I don't want
campus.
to do this. I want to do something else, like change her major.
Yeah.
So we had to. So she's a late arrival, but
Yeah.
she's going to knock it all out.
She's still early.
And well, trust me, if you have decent grades, they want your money.
Right.
They're not going to say, "Oh no,
Right.
We don't want your whatever, $20,000 or whatever it's going to be."
Yeah.
So that's really cool. It was a really cool experience. We were there all day, like from 8 in the morning till like 3 or 4 in the evening. But that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Just throw that out there.
That is fun.
Yeah.
It's a good time. College visits are fun. We got Purdue coming up in a couple weeks.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. So I've got a couple quick hitters.
Let's do it.
This is a question, though.
Okay.
Rock and roll. This is one of your favorite bands of all time, Green Day. Did the name derive from money or weed?
I don't know. I don't like Green Day.
Okay, it's not about the music. It's a question about the band name.
I don't know.
What do you think?
I don't know.
I mean, it's a rock band. I mean, could be Money and they didn't make.
I'm gonna guess money. Is Green Day Friday? Is that like when you used to get paid?
That's
back
what
in
I was
the
thinking.
day?
Like Payday. It's either Payday or no.
Right.
It was actually the second. I did the second one first to try to throw you
It
off.
was like when he gets the weed.
It was the Weed Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy, Joe, whatever his name is, Billy Joe Royal. Or,
Joe Bananas.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Secondly, shouldn't Tiger be better in his 40s?
No, he's beat up, man.
Jack Nicholas was way better in his 40s.
Of course he was.
Way better. And they're like the same guy.
Right. He wasn't a drunk poontang hound that had been in
Oh,
car accidents and blown out his knee and every other fucking thing.
Yeah, Jack did not date a bunch of porn stars
No.
and get chased by
He got married when he was like 12 and,
get-
like was married to the same woman for
and
forever.
get chased around with the angry wife with golf clubs.
Right.
That probably there's probably
Right.
a nice 7-iron to the side of the knee that
Yeah.
we don't know about.
Right. It's not a 7-iron, a Mitsubishi.
But
a
barring
Range
all
Rover.
of that bullshit, he should have been better than Jack in his 40s.
I would think Phil was actually decent into at least the first part of his 40s. And
Tiger
then,
is my age, so he's almost 50,
yeah.
and
I don't know, dude. He's lawn chairing it. Like the good part but here's the thing though, and I don't know how you feel about this. I feel like in a sport like this where it's not like he's taking hits like a quarterback,
yeah,
he is. I think that there was a time that we all thought that when it was all said and done, there was going to be no contention that Tiger was going to be the GOAT. It's still hard for me to put him above Jack. He didn't finish as strong. The numbers they didn't run away like you thought that they were going to. So like he's in, but if you're even in the GOAT conversation in a non-contact sport like this, play for forever. Let people come see you. You're a legend. You know what I
The thing
mean?
I hate about it is it's like every time he's in a tournament, that's all they do is talk about him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
it's still good for the tournament. I mean, if he ever
no.
gets to Sunday and has a lead,
It's great, but he's not finishing. Sometimes he doesn't even make it out of the second cut.
no.
And that's okay. It is what it is for him.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, quit building him up so much.
Yeah.
That was 20 years ago when you should have done that.
Yeah.
Don't build him up anymore. And he's just a regular golfer now.
Yeah. I don't disagree with you, man.
Okay. And what about the other guy? Like, there's one dude now, Scheffler. He's the only
No,
guy.
there's a handful, but Scheffler is the man right now. But it's like it seems like every few years you get a guy in pro golf that just all of a sudden is just racking everybody for a year or two, and then he
But
comes
it's
back
not-
to the field.
This guy, I think Scheffler, he's like, to me, he's like an idiot savant. He doesn't seem like anything bothers him. I don't know what his personal life's like, but it just seems like he's like Forrest.
Yeah.
He's just happy to be here, plays his golf. Mama said this, Mama said that. I'm
Yeah.
with Jenny.
Yeah.
And we're good.
He's wicked consistent though, isn't he?
Well, that's what I mean.
It's
I
like
don't
week
think
to
he-
week.
I don't think he's pays attention to much.
You know what he seems like to me? I don't think it's that. He seems like a person that is very settled in his life.
Yeah, definitely.
It doesn't seem like he's got a million crazy things going on. Not that he doesn't have the life of a busy pro athlete, but it seems like for who he is and what his family and his life like that is, it doesn't seem like he just runs around with crazy shit going on all the time. He just seems like he knows what he does. He's very confident in who he is. Like, I don't know. I like guys like that.
Yeah.
Like the unsung champion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, a couple more things, a couple more sports quick hitters then.
Okay.
Did you see the end of the gold medal game between the men's basketball team and France? Did you
No.
see the end of this?
No.
Man alive. You talk about a weird moment to have for a Northeast Ohioan. So France gave them all that they could handle. France had cut it to either 4 or 6 with like
This was the final?
this was the gold medal game, and France had cut it to like 4 or 6 with like 3 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Dude, Steph knocked down 4 straight bombs, and the last one was like crossover, back step, forward step, back step, over 2 guys, like with like 50 seconds to go, and then it put them up like 13 again to where like the game was over. Dude, it was like the most PTSD thing I've ever seen, because it's just like, this is 2013, 14, 17 all over again. But then at the same time, it's like, well, it's for the country. You know what I mean?
You know what?
Dude, it was crazy.
It almost made me puke in my mouth, because for basketball, that's where my glory years were. Even though the Golden State Warriors beat us 3 out of 4 years in
Right.
the finals, still very appreciative to have the team
Yeah.
in the finals. I'm
Yeah.
not going to say that. But the fact that all the headlines and all the highlight shots were him and LeBron basically making out.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. I get it. It's for your country, but show him and somebody else.
Yeah.
Why does it have to be LeBron and Steph?
Because, they were the two guys.
I understand, but they're supposed to hate each other secretly.
No.
You don't remember those games, man. They hated each other.
But they were just competitors back then, though. Like on this team, but like,
I know.
and
I know.
Durant was
It's
in the
for
middle of
country.
it. You know,
It's for country.
They were all one big spoon fest.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I didn't know if you saw that. And then I got one more for you.
Yeah.
So you know how they did the man in an arena thing with Tom Brady? Did you watch that?
Man in the arena?
Yeah. Oh, holy shit, dude! If you haven't seen this, you got to take the time. It's like ESPN, like 30 for 30
Okay.
films.
I think I have seen
It's
the
10
promo, but I did not watch it.
Oh, dude,
I
it's
watched the roast.
Oh, dude, no. Like you have to. It's a 10-parter, but you got to watch this. Like it's one of the best things I've ever seen. It's like I don't like Tom Brady. Like I never rooted for those Patriots.
What?
No, I mean when they played
The
like
end of his career, you're like, you gotta love some
Oh,
Tommy.
no.
You gotta
Now the end.
massage his,
now
is
hold
in between
on.
there.
No, the end in Tampa. Then you're rooting for the old guy.
No.
It's just like, dude, Rodgers being
had
with the
enough.
Jets now.
Go away.
It's like Rodgers being with the Jets now. Hated him his whole career. I don't care if he plays well for the Jets. I could give a shit less. It doesn't bother me at all.
Can
But-
we see if he makes it out of one series this year?
But here's the thing. Tom is unequivocally the GOAT of quarterbacks. I'm a Montana fan, and I can sit here and be arbitrary. Tom is Tom, right? Tom's a one of one in that space. They're about to do one on Serena. And they're saying that they said that she is the GOAT of all goats.
Of all goats.
Yeah. So if you take all the goats, like what you think are the goats, and they said she is the GOAT of all goats.
Well, she's the goat of the female class.
But I could, dude, like,
Even though she could, in her prime, she would definitely have kicked my ass.
right, but like, I don't know. Like, I was so annoyed hearing that. I'm like, that is such a disservice to every other person that's ever been like the absolute top.
Don't
And
be
like,
that angry person.
Oh,
You
dude,
got to
but-
be politically correct bullshit.
but even in like men's tennis, the three greatest
Obviously
players
the-
of all time played against each other in the same era and all have over 20 majors. She ended up with like 30.
Listen,
It's just annoying.
it's somebody's opinion, and they're wrong.
It's dumb.
They're wrong.
It's dumb.
Put some pads on her, throw her a 99-mile-an-hour fastball, and then we'll see how she does.
Right?
Okay? That's where I stand with that.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things, like, it's the first time I've ever heard anybody say it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like we could go through a bajillion sports and we don't need to, but I'm just saying, like, to say somebody's the GOAT of goats, like you're gonna tell me she was better at tennis than Jerry Rice was at wide receiver? Come on now.
She was pretty phenomenal, but at tennis.
But that's what I'm
you
saying.
call her the GOAT of tennis, wonderful. If you want to say she's the GOAT of even the men, I'd like to see her up against put Serena, what is she now, 43?
I think she's in her late 30s.
Okay, so at her late 30s, put her up against Nadal.
Dude. She'd be lucky to score a point.
I'm just saying, he's older, right?
Like right about the same age, yeah.
Right. They were both great. If she was greater in her sport than he was, that's fine. Put them up against each other, and then tell me if she's the GOAT.
Right.
Because if you're saying the GOAT of all goats, she should be able to beat that man that's her age.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're the GOAT of all goats, then you should be the best at your thing, no matter what, of all time ever.
Right. We're not talking football, but if you're going to say of all, put her up against the man that's her age.
Right.
That was really good.
Right. I mean, but it was him, Federer, and Djokovic. If those three guys didn't exist at the same time, somebody would have had 40 or 50
Okay,
majors.
well then pick one of those guys that's her age. Have him at it.
Right. I think Federer
Make
is the
sure-
oldest of the three.
All right, make him go.
We'll give her Roch.
Yeah. She don't want that.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Here's the thing. It's like I don't disrespect her. Like, she was amazing. I mean, like, you knew for years she's going to at least the semifinals, and for years it was just like finals.
Right.
Anyway, all right. Now you can start your stuff. I just had to ask about that.
Start the show.
Let's get down to brass tacks, gentlemen.
All right, here.
Getting started.
I'm going to tell you what. I have had a fucking enough.
All right.
I mean, I have had enough. I have talked about this on the show before.
Oh shit.
I mean, I've had enough. I can't fucking believe this.
Okay.
And I know you see it. You probably see it daily. And if you do it, I'm sorry for you, Jake.
Oh fuck.
No one knows how to use a fucking phone anymore.
What do you mean?
This fucking right here. Talking like this in a phone with the speakerphone on. This is the dumbest. Put it up to your fucking ear and talk to. Quit holding it like a fucking platter of crackers
What are you talking about, bro? Like,
on speakerphone.
why the fuck I got to get cancer because you don't like the way I hold a phone?
This isn't You hold a phone like this, you talk to it, and guess what? If I'm near you, I hear a one-sided conversation. I don't want to hear what you and your significant other or your kid have to say when you're walking down the street or you're in my grocery store.
No.
Because this is the same people that got to lean over the cart. They're leaned over the cart in the grocery store, and they're talking. Get off the fucking phone anyways, because I'm going to tell you right now. You don't even have a life to begin with, because I'm watching you. I'm looking at you. You don't you're taking up fucking space. Get out of my way. Get off your phone and get your bag of shit and get out of here. I don't understand it.
Now you're talking about two different things.
No.
Whoa.
It's the same thing. I see kids walking down the middle of my street on the phone. For one, you're going to get run over.
Yeah.
Like this.
Is it bothering you?
It bothers the fuck out of me that somebody
Like how?
just can't do this.
Like what's it do to your
somebody,
day though?
Somebody can't do this and just talk on the phone.
I don't.
And then the
okay.
people in the
just
car.
because you held a phone like
No,
that
no.
in 1923 doesn't mean we have to do it now.
Here's the kicker. And then they're like this in the car. Do you know what speakerphone is for? Do you know what they also call speakerphone? Hands fucking free. Put the fucker down. Drive your car with two hands, because now in Ohio, that's where we live, it's illegal.
100%.
Drive with the phone down. You don't have to have it an inch away from your mouth. Hit the speaker and talk on fucking speaker. It's speakerphone. You got on speakerphone. Put it in your fucking pocket. I almost dropped it, but I didn't. I don't fucking get it.
I don't know, man. I don't. The only time that.
So here's the first thing.
All right.
They don't know how to talk on a phone. It's a one-sided conversation for everybody else.
All right. So thing one is don't be on speaker.
It's almost, yeah. Well, there's no point to be on speaker. Put it up to your fucking ear and talk. Why don't you want your conversation to be private is what I don't understand when you're in public.
Yeah.
Why like this? The second thing is, oh my God. Yeah, I already said that. I had a lot.
Are you sure you know how to use a fucking phone?
Well, this is the smartphone. Oh yeah, the driving thing, the 1 inch away from your mouth. The reason it's there's a reason the speakerphone is also called hands-free fucktards. Okay, I guess that's pretty much it. I just don't get it.
Look, the one thing that you said that I will agree with is that, like, in like a grocery store or any kind of like a retail environment, a restaurant, anything like that, don't be an asshole. Like, to me, like, that is rude, because like that is like, I'm doing something else. I don't want to hear your conversation while I'm concentrating on whatever I'm doing. Even if all that is me concentrating on the conversation of the person in front of me, because I don't want to hear both halves of your conversation.
Right.
Right? That
I never want to hear both halves.
That I'll agree with. But other than that, I don't give a shit.
Here's the thing. It's bad enough that I have to hear half of the conversation most of the time.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't bother me if somebody's on the phone and they have to take this. But you usually should step outside.
Yeah.
But then, oh, Mark, yeah, dude, oh, it's been good to see you.
But then to make it easier, like with your wife, like she's like, oh my God, I talked to Karen, and be like, yes, I know the entire conversation you had with Karen. To where like you get to skip the entire fucking tell me the story portion of it and just jump into the conversation about the conversation. That saves you time. This is a more efficient way of doing things.
Okay, I'm not talking about at your fucking breakfast nook when your mother-in-law calls and your wife says, oh, listen to this. Right. That's your business. It's your fucking house. It's your fucking house. I don't care about that. I'm talking about in a public place.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you, the second thing that annoys me, just popped in my head, is those Bluetooth motherfuckers. That you don't even know. They just sneak up on you like, yeah, well, I shot 48 last week and I was all pissed off. And you're like, where did this come from? Who are you even talking to?
Right?
I don't even see a phone. You're like, oh, it's the Bluetooth motherfucker. Now,
Just has a glowing fucking blue air.
I know you're going to fucking write this shit down for your comedy show. And you're welcome. You're welcome.
No, what's funny though? A true story. So I told you about, we went to dinner with it's good friends of my mother-in-law, right? We went to dinner with them. It's been about a week and a half ago now, and we were talking about cell phones and all that kind of stuff. And this guy has been in business in one shape or another since the 70s, right? Mm-hmm. He was telling us about in the 80s, like he was like early to the cell phone party, like the giant old cell phones. He was telling us that the funniest thing that he remembered about it is that back then they had an area at the airport, right? Because Same thing that you're talking about. People complained back then. They didn't want people sitting beside them talking on the phone, right? So they had an area that was designed for people with cell phones, but he said it was like a big status thing. He's like, so people would sit there and act like they were talking on their phone when they really weren't. They're just putting their status out there for the world to see. I found that to be, he's like, you couldn't make a phone call. He's like, nothing would go in and out when you're in an airport. He's like, it didn't hardly work any other time. He's like, but you sat there. He's like, you sat there and you act like you were doing something. I'm like, that's classic right there.
Yeah, it's like the people with the laptops. Oh, this is the laptop area in the airport. This is where I do my work, even though I'm just looking at, Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, stupid.
Yeah, that's funny though.
The other thing about this cell phone is like for the young generation.
The Jung?
I don't even mean, when I say they don't know how to talk on the phone, I don't mean like this. I mean like my son, he's 16 and like, I'm like, put it up to your ear. He's like, huh? I'm like, put it up to your ear. And then he finally goes, and it's like, ah! It's like, what? I mean, because you could hear from here if you want to.
Yeah.
Because my wife can be on the phone.
Yeah.
And if it's quiet, I'm like, well, you don't, like you were saying, you don't need to tell me anything. I heard, but
Yeah.
I can hear the whole thing, even if she's like this with the
Yeah.
ear. But that they don't know. Like literally, I don't mean they don't know how to hold it. They don't know how to talk on the phone, like having a conversation. I'm adamantly, like my son just started mowing for our 86-year-old neighbor. And I tell him all the time, hey, your boss is, walking around, go talk to him. Work out when you're going to mow next. Because old people, that's all they care about.
Yeah.
Because, they don't have a whole lot to do. They go to the doctor. They go visit the cemetery if,
Sure.
if their spouse passed. And they go to breakfast. They have it all mapped out. All
Right.
mapped out. Everything every day. And if you're working for them and you haven't been over and it's 5 o'clock, that's all they're worried about. They're
Agreed.
worried about all day when that boy's coming over to mow my yard.
Yep.
So I said, go ease his mind. I said, you got to understand who your clientele is here. You need to talk to him and then just say, all right, Thursday's the day.
Yeah.
Leave the mower out.
Know your audience.
Boom. Yeah, exactly. But I adamantly pushing him out, though, all the time to talk to him because I'm trying to teach that boy how to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Like to actually have a conversation in the world. Because, like, I'll swear to God, like, we'll be eating dinner, and most of the time he's pretty good, but he'll get into that caveman mode where it's like chicken, and instead of, like, cutting the chicken into a few bites, it's fork, you're eating this giant slab of chicken on the fork, and I'm like, dude, this is not how we're putting you into the world. Cut it up. What if you're over at your girlfriend's? I don't have a girlfriend. I'm like, well, someday you will.
Right.
What if you're at her house? I do not want you stabbing the whole fucking fish fillet and no, cut the fucking thing up.
Right. That's fucking funny.
Most of the time, he's really, really good, but
Yeah.
there's sometimes he gets glazed over.
Yeah. Right. You ever get the the texting play-by-play and then the friend calls and it's like, oh my God, I said this. Oh my God, I said that. And then they call and they're like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. And you're like, why don't you guys talk back and forth in person with voices the way you do texting?
No, when he gets on his games with his boys, it's loud ass speakerphone. 18 people are screaming and crying on his phone.
Yeah.
And they're all like, "Whoa!" And then he's got to repeat something 5 times so they can actually hear him once.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why do you keep saying the same thing? Dad, shut up.
Yeah.
They're gonna think I'm 15. I'm like, you are.
Right.
He plays with some people on the PlayStation 5. He plays a World of Warships game where it's boats and stuff. I have my own account, and him and I play sometimes together.
Yeah.
But he like has this group that he plays with. I don't have a group. I'm just do myself.
You're
my
just
own
old.
thing.
It's fine.
I'm
You're an old head.
But he'll play with these guys, and they sound a little bit older than him, but not a whole lot.
Sure.
But I said, are they older than you? He goes, well, I think so, because they talk about work. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, but then if I come down, I'm like, oh, it's a nice shot or something. He's like, yeah, shut up. They're going to think I'm like, real little. Like, well, you're not real old.
Right?
Be proud of who you are, son.
Have you showed him Gran Torino yet?
Gran Turismo?
Gran Torino, the movie.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Clint Eastwood. I'm hip. No, we haven't watched it yet.
No. Then it sounds like you're just about ready for that. Like
We watched Pulp Fiction the other night.
Right. Well, what do you think of that?
Liked it.
Did he?
Yeah.
That's badass.
I said, now, this is going to be a confusing movie because it's like this part, this part, this part, this part. And they just mixed them all up. He's like, what does that mean? I'm like, you just have to find out.
But did he follow it along pretty well? Like, does he kind of understand it?
Understanding that was going to happen.
Yeah, it makes it a little easier.
I threw it out there so he wasn't like, wait, that guy's dead.
Right.
How could he be dead and still alive?
Right.
No, that happened earlier.
Right. It's the Bonnie incident. That's why.
Yeah.
I love that. No, like there's a scene in Gran Torino where he's teaching the kid how to talk to men.
Okay.
Like, so it just rang true with that. You know. Like,
Yeah.
Like that's the next thing he's got to see. You know.
Yes.
You know, fucking job. All right, what do you got next?
So this is kind of a fun one.
Okay.
Long hair on men
Yeah.
or boys
Yeah.
or young men, I should say, and short hair on women.
Yeah.
When is it okay?
Do you have an opinion on this?
So,
I
mean,
think you got to define. Define.
This all came about.
How short? How long?
Well, listen, don't ask 7 questions at once.
I'm allowed. You're not the boss of me.
So, I'm assuming, I've known you for a while. You
Yeah.
seem like the type of guy with the ladies that you're, surround yourself with, that you enjoy longer locks.
Yeah.
I do too. Probably a large volume of men do.
Yeah.
There are some that maybe don't.
Yeah.
Obviously, we all have our own, whatever,
Preferences.
preferences. But what do you think about the older ladies, like we're talking grandmas in their 70s that have the long gray hair? I always think that they look better. Not that I'm out judging people, but if I did line you all up, I'd be like, okay, the ones with the long hair, I just think you look better.
Yeah.
So what? And this is also a Bill Burr a skit.
I don't know that
from
one.
Red Rock.
Okay.
Where he was talking about his dad drove his wife, which was his mom, Bill Burr's mom, to get her hair cut, and he's saying they fucking butched her. They butched her. She looked like a fucking guy, and she comes out and his dad's like brutal.
Yeah.
Holy shit! What did they fucking? She's over there crying. Ah! So your mom has shorter hair, not super short.
Yeah.
My mom has shorter hair.
Yeah.
So I get that as you get older, you want to have to deal with less. I understand where they're coming from.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just thought about it. I'm like, this is interesting. Then I'm talking about what about the other way? When the guys have the long hair, you see all the MLB players with the freaking giant locks. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I think that, like, after 70, women can do whatever they want to. You know what I mean? Like, if you're comfortable, you know what I mean? Like, you've been rocking it for a long time, you do whatever you do. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'm not saying it's not your choice. And I'm just saying, what do you think looks better? I'm asking you that.
What do you mean? I mean, definitely, like, I'm a long hair.
Like you're married for the next 20 years, and in your 60s.
Hopefully it's fucking longer than that.
Okay, I'm saying at 20 years from now.
Okay.
And we're much older.
Yeah.
We're in our 60s, pushing 70.
Yeah.
And she goes and gets it freaking high and tight.
Yeah.
You gonna be happy with that?
I mean, it's honestly, like, especially at that point, you're talking 25 years of marriage.
Right.
Like, we're getting older like that. Like, I'm not going to have any hair left at that point in time. So
But
for me
you're not supposed to.
But for me to be critical about that with her, like, I don't feel like that's my role in that moment. Like,
You're missing the question.
I don't
not
think
about people's, prerogatives and what they want to do. It's what do you think? Would you rather it be long and gray? Or would you be like, shave that shit off?
No, I'll always prefer it longer.
Okay.
Like, that's a no-brainer.
I'm trying to get,
Right.
No, I'm not getting around people can't do what they want to do.
Right.
I'm asking you, I think they look better with the longer hair.
Right. Now, men, there should be, like, a voting system that's enacted. So, like, if your hair as a dude, like, touches your shoulder or is longer, I think that there should be, like, an open voting process once a year. And, like, if you don't get so many fucking votes, you got to chop that shit back off. Because there are dudes that arbitrarily rock the shit out of long hair.
Sure.
Right?
I've known a few that are like, God, that looks better than some women's hair.
Right. Like the classic Fabio,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
that dude was rocking lady hair back in the day. But when you're giant and chiseled, you can pull it off.
Probably.
You know what I mean? But like there's like the parents that allow like the 18, 17-year-old high school basketball player man buns. It's poor parenting. Like, it just sends the wrong message. I hate it. I hate it to death.
See, my daughter's boyfriend, they're both 18.
Yeah.
When she first met him, he had and he would come over all the time. And he didn't want to wear it down. It was long.
Yeah.
And so he would always be wearing the snow cap, and you just see the little hairs coming out. And I'm just like, I'm sure it looks good down. Why don't you just wear it down? In my head, I'm not saying
Yeah.
this to him because
Yeah.
we're getting to know him and everything. And then the other day, just boom, out of nowhere, boom, cut it all off. And I was like, and now he's not wearing the hat. He looked, to me, just looks more presentable, looks better. I mean,
Yeah.
but then again, I was also a guy in a band, had my hair longer. Maybe that's the thing. It depends what you're doing. If you're in a band, grow that shit out. I mean, why not?
It can still look dumb as fuck, though.
I don't know.
You can have long hair in a band and you still look stupid.
I don't know.
I'm just saying. I'm saying like it's possible.
If you're thrashing your head around and your hair's, I mean, you look pretty cool doing that.
I don't know. I'm just saying. To each their own. But I'm also a big believer that like once you start losing it on top, don't have the ponytail in the back anymore. Like don't have like don't have like the open season up top, you know. Then you got the rat tail coming down the bottom.
Or what about this? I saw a guy that I knew. He's a veteran. Was a veterinarian in Wadsworth. Great guy. Super nice. Always helped us out with our pets and stuff. He comes into some establishments that we go to, and I talked about this on the show. I'm a super recognizer. I just recognize people. I have an uncanny ability. This guy fucking fooled me. He had his hair pulled back, and it was into a ponytail. This guy has been normal haircut for 30 years that I've known him. He's going through something. I hope he's not turning a little flamboyant. Maybe
Yeah.
if he is, it's his
You
own.
know.
He don't hang around me. but
To each their own.
teach their own. But he had that shit pulled back into like a slick back ponytail, and you know it was very small, just like you're talking. It's like, and I'm like, and we're looking at him. I'm like, that is not him. And then he stands up and he's looking around. I'm like, I see why you think that. It's close.
Yeah.
But that is not him. I was fucking wrong.
It was him
and
bigger
I,
and
and
shit,
I'm
huh?
not usually wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, way wrong.
Yeah.
And because my wife went over and talked to me, he's like, "Oh, how you doing?" I'm like, "Fucking shit, it is him."
Yeah. I would say that most guys that have long hair probably don't anticipate getting into a fight anytime soon. I feel like that's a big part of it is like
You think you're tough like that?
it's definitely more effeminate thing because it's a huge disadvantage in a fight.
Oh, you're saying if you have long hair?
Yeah, like I feel like those guys like they're not really looking to throw knuckles with anybody
Wow,
anytime
we
soon.
just went from restaurant to fight bang.
I'm
fight
just,
film.
but I'm just saying, man. Like I feel like that's part of it.
yeah,
You know,
probably.
like
So you were talking about if you start losing on the top, you shouldn't grow it in along on the back.
yeah,
Who was our classic guy at Roar like that back in the day?
Krusty.
No,
Yeah, that was his nickname,
no.
captain of the shipping department.
Yeah,
Yeah, Krusty.
Trouble.
Yeah, because
Remember his truck?
Yeah, because when it grows out, like if he grows out and he lets it go, he looks like fucking Krusty the Clown.
Oh, Mr. Dave.
You don't remember that?
Mr. Dave.
Yeah, he's great.
I do actually love Dave.
Still there.
Have had some good times with Dave.
Yeah.
But he's looked normal for quite some time. But boy, back in the days in the early '90s,
Oh man.
he had the losing it on top and ponytail in the back.
Right, but he's the one who kept the little puffball in the middle. That's why they called him Krusty.
Okay.
Right, Krusty the Clown, baby. It's pretty great.
God.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the hair segment of the
So
show.
you think that? Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Well, I guess what I'm also trying to say is that you've got hair. If you're a woman, let it grow out. We've known plenty of people that shortened it all up. And hey, if that's what you like, that's what you like.
Right.
But
I
just telling
feel
you.
like everybody can agree on the shoulder. You know what I mean?
There's always that one thought in the back of the mind, though. You know, when you're with your significant other and you're doing adult things behind the scenes. I'm sorry, it looks like two dudes.
Or it looks like two girls. If you're rocking the long hair too.
Right. Could
Right.
look like two girls.
Right.
What the hell are they doing?
Right.
All right.
Next.
Boom. The conspiracy.
Which one?
Holy shit. The most recent. We're going down conspiracy lane.
Okay.
You said you wanted a conspiracy every show?
All right.
We've got one.
All right.
It's the Trump conspiracy.
Which one? That didn't narrow it down.
The one that matters.
Okay.
So, let's go through the events that took place.
Okay.
Biden fails hard at the debate.
Yep.
Up until that point, we had two. We didn't know who was going to win. You know, they're kind of even. Then all of a sudden, Biden's like, fuck.
Yeah.
I fucked that up. Everybody's talking about him. She needs to step down. What's the next thing that happens about a week and a half later? Failed assassination attempt.
Yep.
Still, I'm saying this is all part of the same thing.
Yep.
And then Very shortly after, Biden drops out.
Yep.
Now, he didn't drop out before the assassination attempt because if Trump dies, hey, I can stick around. Got the shit in the bag, boys. But Trump lived. Biden drops out of the race. And I'm just saying, I'm here to sort this shit out for you. Not you, but the people out there in the world. That's what I believe happened. I believe that exactly happened. And that's exactly in those moments. And then they said, well, fuck. Biden's got to go because he is not going to beat Trump
Right.
at this point because the dude almost died. Everybody's going to vote for him now, or at least a lot of people, more people will vote for him.
Sure.
So let's go get a woman, I'm not sure of her complete descent, but
Her mom's Indian and her dad is Jamaican.
okay, there you go. But a woman of color.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got the female, you've got the people that want to vote for, a woman of color.
Yeah.
That's the next best thing to put up against Trump for
Okay.
them to win. I think they probably played the right cards,
I mean, if that's what you're going to vote on.
but some people do. Some people want to vote because she's a woman of color. Some people
It's the stupidest fucking
some
thing
people
ever.
want to vote because she's just a woman.
You imagine if you said, I want to vote for Trump because he has balls and he's orange.
Right.
You know how fucking dumb that is?
Right. No. So I'm saying they're playing the only card that they think they've got, and that's okay.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I'm not saying it's wrong or right.
Okay.
It's a choice. But what I find interesting is that the line of conspiracy up until that point, no one's being held accountable for anything.
Yeah. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like,
No, I don't. I just wanna talk about
I
it.
don't know what you wanted to be held accountable exactly for, but
Because
it's
they
like,
tried to kill the president.
well, I think that some of the shit's kind of hilarious. Like, the guy that fired the shot was a registered Republican, never voted Republican, only voted Democrat the one time that he voted. Like, videos of him all over the place talking about how bad he hates Trump, hates Republicans, to
That
where,
wasn't him.
huh?
That video of him, that's not him.
No?
No. It's a fake video of another guy that did that because he knew he looked like him.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, this guy clearly not a Trump fan. You know what I mean? I think the bigger questions around that part of it. I mean, there's so much to unpack here, but it's like the assassination attempt. I don't know, man. There's a whole lot of incompetency that went into that thing. You know what I mean? Like,
So from what I've heard is that the head of Secret Service was a family friend of the Bidens.
yeah,
That's what I heard. That she got the job.
she was an
because-
appointee, not
because-
an elected official.
Right. She got the job because she knew Joe Biden. Whether it was a family friend or just an acquaintance, whatever, she got the job because of Joe.
She was politically appointed.
Right.
However you want to slice that.
So maybe there's some strings that can be pulled there.
Yeah.
I got you the job. I need you to do this.
Yeah.
Follow these instructions.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
don't
mean,
know. Here's
do
a-
you think anything's non-plausible
Oh, dude,
at this point?
but it's all shady as fuck at this point. I mean, like, here's a few problems that I have. It's like we are so used to our news cycle going so fast in this country that it's amazing how quickly 2 weeks and people aren't talking about stuff anymore, right?
Right.
And like, it's the things that, like, I laugh about it. It's like the left is still talking about January 6th, but they don't want to talk about July 13th at all. Like, it's already off the board.
Well, have we forgotten? The moment Trump got elected, what was it, 2016?
Yeah.
They tried to impeach him immediately.
Dude,
They
I
went
know.
through every process for the 4 years. They never left the guy alone.
I
There was
agree.
not one moment where he could sit back and be like, "Phew, we got this finally."
Yeah.
There was not one moment, whether deserved or not deserved, that he didn't get to just chill for a minute.
Yeah.
They were always on his shit.
Yeah.
Nonstop the whole time.
Yeah.
But that happened, and it's like,
Yeah.
gone.
Gone. I mean,
Can you imagine if it was the other way?
no. It would still be airing right now.
They would
With
still be showing.
continuing breaking news. They would have arrested 97 people. Everybody that works for the Secret Service would have been hauled before Congress and then would have been jailed and had charges pressed against them.
They asked that lady if she's going to step down. I think she did.
She did.
since. But at
did.
first, her answer was, "I'm not stepping down."
Yeah, initially. It's crazy.
She likes her paycheck.
Yeah, but like some of the things that, like, so our news cycles go so fast, right? Like, there's some things that really bother me about this entire process. I don't know if you remember, go back to the beginning of the year, right? Do you remember all the Republican debates that they had that Trump didn't show up to, but Trump still had to win, and they were trying to keep him off the ballot and all these different states and all that stuff that went on? The left basically said, hey, Biden's an incumbent. We're not letting anybody run against him. So they blocked really anybody from trying to go against Biden in his own party. He gets 14 million primary votes, right? So now you have somebody that finished last in 2020 amongst Democrats that were running that gets handed the position because she's the vice president. To like the American people didn't get to vote at all on that. I mean, it's one of the things to me that makes me laugh. It's like all we hear is threat to democracy, threat to democracy, threat to democracy. And you circumvented a democratic process.
Yeah.
That doesn't make a lick of sense to me. Like to me, like that part is, if it's not criminal, at the very least, it's unethical.
Yeah. 100%.
You know what I mean? It's like they knew after the debate and after the assassination attempt, Biden was cooked. I mean, there was no two ways around it. Like that, there was only one way that one-on-one election was about to go.
Yeah.
Right. So now the situation that we're in, right? They basically handed it to her. Now she's been in hiding for basically 30 days. Other than doing like a rally, she hasn't done an interview and is taking no press questions.
Why?
For almost a month. Because they don't want to put her at risk. Like, I mean, the debates are going to be must-see TV. Like, it's hilarious. Like, one of my favorite things, like, people will
I've never heard her speak. Is she not a good speaker?
I'm going to let everybody make their own decisions on that. I don't think that she's an eloquent speaker. She gets sidetracked. She has weird, crazy thoughts, and like people are going to see her for what she is. If she's in a position where it's not spoon-fed to her, to where it's not media cuts. I mean, that was the thing about the Biden-Trump debate, that you couldn't reduce it to a 22-second clip that you saw on Instagram or Facebook. It was actually 2+ hours of going toe to toe. You don't have editors and interns that run social media accounts that are basically changing the narrative on everything, that are editing things to look ways that they actually aren't, right? That's the thing that's supposed to make these debates so great, and it is,
right,
because they actually get to go mano a mano.
Right.
You know, I think that some of the other shit that's hilarious about this, I don't believe that she's doing as well as the media tries to tell us that they are. This is all left-controlled media that is all of a sudden telling you that Americans don't remember how much more expensive gas and groceries are. Americans don't remember how many people have invaded our southern border. Americans don't remember how many billions and billions and billions of dollars have been sent to foreign governments, while we have veterans that are dying in the streets, while we have the Lake and Rileys of the world that are being murdered by people that shouldn't even be here. Like, they expect that we have forgotten all of that because there is a woman of color that is suddenly running. To me, that doesn't make any logical sense. I feel like all that shit is just like one big clusterfuck that's made up. But it's propaganda controlled media, right? I mean, that's what it seems like to me, at least on that front. There's so much more that's going to keep happening. We're a long way away from the election because of how the cycle goes. It feels like it's all shady and dirty. I mean, I love that Kamala. I get corrected on this all the time. It's Kamala. Not Kamala, it's Kamala.
I'm going to call her Kamala.
I love that, like
Data.
Any of the clips that you see from these rallies, she talks about the things she's going to do on day one. The fuck have you been? You've been here for 3.5 years. You've made none of this better. It's all the policies of you are half of this administration.
Yeah.
You have done nothing to help any of this. Clearly, he's been in cognitive decline. So where have you been? Who's actually been running the show if it's not you? You know what I'm saying? So either you're running the show and you're not making things better, or you're letting somebody else run the show, which just shows how completely inept you really are.
I don't know.
You can't have your cake and eat it too.
I don't know. You know,
But to vote for her because she's a woman or because she's a woman of color, to me, that stands in complete, let me just finish this thought and then you can go off on it. But it stands in complete opposition of what the left would have you believe is rational thought.
Right.
You know? How you're just going to vote for him because he's a white man? What a piece of shit. You're automatically a fucking racist if you're going to vote for him just because he's a white man. But if you're going to vote for her because she's a woman or a woman of color, that's to be admired It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, you should do your research. That's what everybody says. Do your research first.
Right. And nobody can give us a policy win that she's had. Like, what has she done that's been fantastic?
Right.
Give
me something.
And in any position she's been in. Oh, like she jumped on board. I don't know if you've seen the Trump no tax on tips thing.
Yes.
And she's copied it now.
No.
This is the same person that cast
No new ideas?
that cast the 51st and deciding vote to add 87,000 IRS agents specifically to come after people that work in tip-driven industries that aren't paying their fair share. Part of the legislation that she was deciding vote to cast. That ain't me making it up. That's not me projecting. That's not me.
Well, how can you
being mean
flip-flop on that if you did that?
Right.
Now I'm going to go against it?
This is what I'm saying. And these are the things that are a problem for me. But I also I try to not get, like, in a moment like this, we can have the conversation, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I'll be blunt about it, but I am also trying very hard to, like, not obsess about it because
No.
is this
But
something that I
here's
do?
what you have to understand.
I only get one vote.
On our platform, we have a lot more people listening to us now.
Yeah.
So I think it's your job, Jake, because you know a lot more about the intricacies about this than I do.
Yeah.
To let the people know, these people right here in
Yeah.
the camera, let them know what's going on. Even if it's one thing like what you just said where she's going to flip-flop on.
Yeah.
It's one little thing like that.
Yeah.
And so the other, real quick, I don't know, because I don't pay attention, because I don't really want it to be my focal point of my day. But occasionally I do hear stuff. There's still, so where is Trump? And as far as like the witch hunt, the persecution, what was the last thing I saw was they're still trying to get him for, is it falsifying
business records is what the 34 felonies are.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not going to go into a 2-hour-long dissertation on it, but
Cliff
like
notes.
the number of people that could be prosecuted in this country for what they tried to say that is insane. I mean, you should have literally thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people in jail. The reality is that part is a witch hunt. The guy that is the judge presiding over the case still, Marshan, he came out just this last week and said on September 18th, he will be sentenced. Like, he's not recusing himself. The immunity case that came before the Supreme Court, he's basically saying that he doesn't recognize that as being to him, it doesn't affect what Trump was convicted of. So there's a chance that he's in jail on Election Day. Now, I think that this is just my.
Well, okay.
Hold on.
So we'll
Go ahead.
pause real quick. So was it like a month or two ago?
Yeah.
He was sued for like $400 million or something.
Yes.
What was that?
That's all still under. Are you talking about like the rape case?
No.
So like, I'm not sure which thing. Like, dude, he's been involved in so many.
Right.
It's crazy. But here's the thing. I think that.
Do you think any of this hurts anything?
I think that what they're trying to
can't
do.
help.
I think that, like, anybody that thinks that Democrats are stupid, their policies are stupid. As people, they aren't stupid. They're actually very crafty.
Sure.
They're a very smart group of people when it comes to trying to manipulate situations to get what they want. Anybody that thinks that that's not true is a moron that's lying to themselves. Straight up. Right? They're way better at this than Republicans are, to say the least. Right?
Yeah.
So,
About everything, though.
right. So I don't think that Marshawn actually sentences him to like full-blown prison. And if he does, I think that obviously there's going to be an immediate appeal, right? And it's going to be set up in a way to where he can pay a bond and still be out. I don't think that they want to deal with what would actually come back from jailing him 2 months before an election. But what it's going to give them ability to do is you read people now that despise him. Oh, convicted felon. Oh, convicted felon. Oh, convicted felon. Now
Are you allowed to run for president if you're a convicted felon?
Yeah. Okay. But after this, he's going to be a convicted felon sentenced to 822 years. Whatever the number ends up being that they attribute to it. And that's all that they're doing it for is another tagline to throw on the end of it. The other thing
How do you get out of jail if you're sentenced to 1,000 years?
What do you mean? So all of this, this process is going to take some time for what it is. The reality of it is that it's most likely going to get thrown out at some point by some circuit court judge. But
or is the idea that he posts bond, gets out, wins the election, and then immunes himself?
But that's
can you do that?
Of course you can. If you're the president, you absolutely can. But that's one of the things they're just using it for bullets in the gun. something else that they can put into a campaign ad to say.
Well, I
But
guess
that's
I just
exactly.
don't. I
like,
don't
he doesn't-
understand how you can get out of jail if you're sentenced.
Adam, he doesn't care about you. All he cares about is winning so he can pardon himself. That's the message. That's the kind of shit that we're talking about here.
Right.
Again, and I would love anybody, like, one of my favorite things is
So
people are like,
I
oh,
don't-
he's trying to take our reproductive rights away. You realize that this is a state's issue now. Do you know this?
Mm-hmm.
That when they overturned Roe, did you know that in Ohio we codified it last year? Right? So being able to get an abortion clear up until the time of birth is codified in Ohio. Okay, you've got that right one. Fantastic. So that means that everybody's here is voting for him because there's nothing else for you to vote for. Like that's their big fear thing that they keep dropping.
So real quick, can you summarize real quick what he's going to get sentenced on the 18th? That's what you're saying. For what? I still don't know what.
So what they're saying,
What did he do wrong?
they're saying that funds were paid from his campaign account. So these are campaign finance violations. That money was paid from his campaign finance to his lawyer. This guy's been in jail I don't know how many times. He was caught perjuring himself twice during this trial on stand. Somehow miraculously in an area that's literally 95% Democrats, they still found him guilty. I know, it's wild to me too. But his name's Comey, right?
So Trump was paying Comey from election funds.
Supposedly, this is what they were trying to say, is that Comey paid Stormy Daniels the money, the hush money, and that instead of it being written from Trump's check account to go to him, that it was routed through the campaign. It's a technicality that is bullshit. I mean, I don't know if you're aware of this, but Bill Clinton paid $400,000 in hush money to two different women. I mean, like this is not a new thing that has happened. You think anybody's trying to throw Bill in jail right now?
No, because Bill and Hillary rule the world.
This is what I'm saying. Like this is one of these things. It's like if you think that throwing somebody in jail for 100 years because what a lying lawyer says about where that money came from, and even if it's true, even if everything that they said is true, right? Let's just say we concede all of that because it came from this checking account instead of that checking account. I mean, that's why it's called lawfare.
And honestly, if he wasn't the one paying it, because he's got 15 people doing his bills and stuff, I mean, obviously, you still should know where the money's coming from.
Yes.
But how can you hold him accountable? Wouldn't you hold the accountant accountable?
You would think, but that's not how it works. Right.
Got to go right to the top, huh?
Yeah, and it's conversations.
I wanted to have that conversation. So once again, the people watching.
Yeah.
The hateful 88.
Yes. This shit's crazy. I'm not telling people to like who he is. He's mouthy. You know what I mean? He says shit off the cuff. You know what I mean? Like, I think that as a person, I would tell you that at least 50% of the people that are going to vote for him aren't like, oh my God, I adore your personality.
No, it ain't.
It
about
has
his
nothing to do with
no,
that.
it's about fixing what's been broken. And I'm going to tell you what, in the last 4 years, there's a lot of shit that's been broken.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I have voted both ways. And I hope that one day this Democratic
too.
Party is fixed again to where I agree with a lot of the stuff that the Democratic Party stands for. I have no problem admitting that out loud.
No, I have none either.
The problem that I have is that they don't tackle things that actually fucking matter to a lot of us.
And I'm going to tell you what, this last 4 years, in my opinion, once again, I don't know everything, and it's just an opinion, but it just seems like the Biden family, what their goal is, and a lot of people in these positions are very similar, but their main goal is to build up their nest egg for generations, so their grandkids' kids are still doing well.
Yeah.
That's just what it seems like. Now, obviously, I don't know if that's all true, but everything in the goddamn country, all I know is I know a lot of people that are scraping by to make it because everything is outrageous. And I'm sorry, Mr. President, but it was on your watch when this happened.
Right.
What I do remember is 4 years prior to that, our gas was at an all-time low since like 1990s.
Yeah. People love to talk, like the Democrats love to talk about Trump's last year in office.
You know what?
It was COVID.
Right.
Like unprecedented. Like I'm not gonna say something stupid like it doesn't count, but like to say that like Trump policies were the driver in any kind of economic downturn during that is fucking crazy.
Right.
That's a person that doesn't know shit about the economy and all they do is fucking watch CNN and regurgitate what the people on there say.
So this is my very generic, vanilla American take on the presidency.
Yeah.
And who wins it every 4 years. Most of the time, at least from my standpoint, it didn't matter who won. My life wasn't going to change.
Yeah.
My life wasn't going to change. I'm still going to pay 99 cents for eggs.
Yeah.
I'm going to pay $2 for gas. And you know what? I'm going to go to work and not a whole lot's going to change for me. Now, I know that is not the case for small business owners and large corporate owners. It does matter more on who gets elected.
Sure.
But for the standard American, it never really seemed to matter all that much.
Right.
But boy, these last 8 years, if you don't have open eyes to see how much they are raping us at the current moment, you got to wake up a little bit.
I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. And like, there's so many, like, again, I wish that people could spend time investing in understanding their own society the way that they want to spend 4 hours a day on TikTok, right? Actually take the time and understand the difference between the way that we get there, right? To where, I'll give you one more for instance, and then I can shut up about this, but like, I feel like these things are important that people need to really understand them, right? So one of the things that Harris has come out and said that she's going to be doing is day one, right? She's going to provide an executive order that puts a cap on what can be charged for food, clothing, shelter, right? Now, stay with me.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Now, that sounds amazing when you say it out loud like that, right? Like, oh, I'm only going to have to pay a certain amount for bread. They can only charge me a maximum of $900 a month
like
for rent.
communism.
But that's exactly what it is. Is like, that is step one in a communist society. Your government is now controlling your costing, where the real answer of how to fix this is to reopen the actual competitive market. Remove regulations that stop businesses from opening in these spaces, right? The barriers to entry to actually get into a free market is what is absolutely killing us, right? And like that's a different mentality, but most people have no idea what regulation does. You know, you talk about regulation, what do they think? They think about like where a line can go in your yard, right? Oh, like because of regulations, I got to get a survey, and because of the survey, and they feel like that makes them smart. That don't have shit to do with what is actual market regulations and what stops companies and what allows companies to come in and just take shit all over.
Yeah.
Those are the two things we have to deregulate, not just put capstones on stuff, because then the market is still going to be 100% controlled by your government. You know who does that? China. And that's not like, oh my God, China. That's not me projecting. Look it up, get on Google. That's exactly how their society runs.
You know what
by a
other thing is?
dictator.
When Trump, we got it on the hat right here.
Yeah.
Make America great again. Do you know what made America great way before Trump in the 80s and in the 70s and the 60s and the 50s was mom and pop shops, small businesses. When you could go through a little town like Wadsworth when it was small,
Yeah.
and there was a bike shop, a sporting goods shop, and these were tiny little places. There was a pastries, donuts shop that's still there,
Yeah.
barely. And few of these places just made every different town, like Barberton, Hiss Bakery, you still have there might still be a bike shop there, but all these things now, if you go through any of these small towns way across America, they're gone.
Yep.
They are fucking gone because now the big box stores, we've made this so that the big box stores can outcompete these people, and they just put them right out of business because they can drop their drawers. And now Ted's bike shop, he's got to close. He's been open for 40 years, but going to hand it off to his son, but they can't afford, they're not making any money.
Oh no. So you know what's really happening. You're on the right page, but it's something different that's happening to those people. What's happening is Jimmy.
Well, happened. They're almost all gone.
But Jimmy owned that bike shop for 50 years, sold the shit out of Swins, right? He was loving it. What happened is a corporation comes in, a private equity firm. They bought Jimmy's bicycle shop. But what you don't know is they bought Ernie's bicycle shop, Ted's bicycle shop, and Mike's bicycle shop. So now, in order to buy a bicycle in the area, you got to go to one of these 4 shops. The same company owns them all. Oh, look, the cost of a bicycle just went up 40%. That is what regulations being done wrong is doing to us.
Well, that's used to be called a monopoly.
Right, but it's not. But it can't be that. That's where the regulations are jacked, because as long as Company A owns the 4 in this area and Company B owns the 4 in this area, and Company C has the 6 down in this area, it's not considered a monopoly because it's too spaced out. But that's the reality of what's happening. One company is buying up, like it's like there's a huge case about it right now in Southern California. One company come in, they bought all the heating and cooling companies. As you can imagine, cooling is pretty prevalent out there. They need to have it. That's what happened. Bought like 15 of these. They all get updated websites. They all look good. This is Jimmy's. This is Johnny's. This is Schmidt and Sons. This is Tommy and his boys. Next thing you know, instead of $75, it's $150 to get somebody out. Instead of a condenser being $100, it's $300. That's where they get you. It's all profit margin driven, and it's just literally raping money out of the pockets of the American people through regulation.
Because for some reason, instead of helping each other out like it used to be, now we just want to fuck each other. It's horrible.
Yeah. Corporations don't have a heart. So,
Moving on.
that's good times. Give me something funnier.
My dirty neighbor story.
Okay.
I have this titled as the last and final update. Holy fucking shit, boys and girls.
Love this guy.
This is the neighbor directly behind me.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he wish he had a podcast to talk about some of this. Holy fucking shit. So,
What if he does? Imagine if he has a podcast and he's talking about you right now.
no.
That'd be sick, dude.
It would be great, but at the same time, and I'm not just saying this because I don't like the guy.
Yeah.
But you can tell when the gears turn and the smoke starts coming out the chimney of some
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
He never has smoke coming out of the chimney.
No?
Gears are not turning.
Just little cinders.
So this last update, we've had our rounds and rounds with the people behind us, and quick update: we had a 48 feet of fence installed about 6 years ago, and that was amazing. It was such freedom. We did not go the whole 100 feet. We figured this is all we needed. Plus, it was like $1,300 at the time, and I'm sorry, that's a lot. That's a lot of money for a fence.
Yeah.
So that was enough, though.
Yeah.
It gave us our freedom of the one area of our yard. We could come and go as we pleased. We didn't have to look at them. They didn't have to look at us. Great. Well, just quick synopsis. Over the years, it's been really frustrating because, he's the one guy that doesn't have any trees. And he wants to give all the leaves back to where they go. And then these are just petty things. Now, when you're neighbors, petty things start to bother you.
Sure.
And he would spend, let's say it took him an hour and a half to mow. He would make sure it took 2 hours. He'd add an extra hour to make sure those leaves got put back in every fucking neighbor's yard that they came from.
Yeah.
Even though if you look in the law of the land, anything that's in your yard is yours from nature.
Sure.
Deal with it. Bag it up. God forbid, get a rake out, dude.
Whoa.
I mean,
Don't be getting crazy about rakes now.
leaf blow them to the front and let the leaf people pick it up. That's
happens.
what I do.
Yeah.
And I do bag some. I do leaf blow to the front. That's what you do. This guy is just 100%. I'm neighborly. I help out my neighbors. I've been through this.
Yeah.
I don't help this guy out, but I tried at one time. Anyways, I'm neighborly. I'm just bringing up some quick things.
Yeah.
We've seen this guy attach a hose to his neighbor's house she was really old. She was gone on vacation to power wash his driveway. How much are you really saving? $50, $20 because you're running your power washer?
Yeah.
You're not saving that much money for running that thing for an hour.
Right.
But that's important to him.
Yeah.
He wouldn't put his trash cans out at one time when we were actually friends because they were charging him $36 a month or whatever. So he would pay me $17.50 if I put his cans on my side and don't tell nobody. But I was like, I don't fucking care. I'll put your cans out, and every month he'd write me a check for $17.50.
Wow.
Because he was saving $17.50 or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
He at one point, this is the one that really killed me. The hose thing really bothered me, but at one point, that same old lady living right beside him, she's passed now.
Yeah.
But he charged her. His family charged her. Now, if you walk down their driveways, they were about 25 feet apart at the end where the mailboxes are. He charged that lady $1 a day. She decided to pay him this to walk over and get her mail and bring it back.
Why?
Because they couldn't be neighborly and just go grab it for her. $1 a day to go grab her mail and bring it home. So this is this guy. I don't know. I don't
It's
know
a cheap
where.
ass.
I don't know where. That's not a cheap ass. That's abusing seniors.
Yeah.
It really is. It's taking advantage of seniors. There's a word for it. I can't think of it.
Elder abuse.
Elder abuse. It's horrible. This is what this guy. That's what he thrives on.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we finally had it. My son is of the age, I've talked about this, he hits his wiffle ball around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Occasionally the ball go over there and he was cussing at us.
Yeah.
Better not keep his, said, you know what? We're going to put a fence up. So we had, I told this story about putting the fence up. I told this all last time.
Yeah.
We put the fence up. I talked about how we post hole dug and all that shit. It's done. Fucking amazing. We didn't hear from them for like almost a month, a little over a month. I mean, it was so quiet.
Yeah.
And then the other day, I come outside. It was a Saturday. Oh, no, it was a Wednesday. And my wife says, she goes, they're out there doing something. So I walked around because it's my fence. I just want to make sure they're not doing nothing.
Yeah.
And he had a bunch of shit in the corner of the lot that we kind of had a little battle upon.
Yeah.
He had moved it. It was gone. Like gone. And I'm like, oh no. Because he had some surveys done and stuff too. I'm like, he's going to put a fence up. But I'm like, wait a second. That's the dumbest thing in the world. Why would you put, this is a vinyl, I put up a vinyl fence of the very nice 6 foot tall, every 8 feet, vinyl white Lowe's amazing freedom fence. That's what it's called, freedom, because it is freedom.
Yeah.
But I'm like, why would you put another one right beside mine? I can understand, I told you this when we were golfing, I can understand if my fence was old and rickety and you just were covering it up.
Yeah.
I don't want to look at that shit no more. But this is brand fucking new. Matter of fact, my son-in-law, I went and cleaned the 48 feet to make it all just glow.
Yeah.
Because, it, after a while it gets mildew and fucking shit from the trees on it.
Sure.
So that's what they did. And these guys there was 3 or 4 of them out there. They fucking busted it out just like you'd expect. They got it all done in one day, a long day, but they got it done. And it is the dumbest fucking looking thing.
Really?
There is 2 fences side by side. They're not completely parallel because mine is actually crooked because after the survey, we did find that where we thought the stakes were wrong. Where I thought I was going parallel, I'm actually kind of going crooked. It doesn't fucking matter. So he put his along the line. Now he put him about, 18, well, it's 18 inches at one end and then it gets about 3 feet at the other end. Whatever. But it looks atrocious. Now, the cool thing is that from our side, you really can't see it too much.
Yeah.
It's just, and he went and got brown. He's got, everything in his house is brown. He got a brown shed. He's got a red brick house. So I guess he thinks brown goes with brick.
Sure.
I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
But so if you're driving around, on one side it's like a tan brown, and on the other side it's white. Now we talked about the cost when I did mine. Mm-hmm. Well, the labor is $50 a feet. He got 106 feet. We heard him say it. We're doing 106 feet. So that's a quick $5,200.
Right.
That is on the nose, $5,200 fucking dollars just for labor. Probably cost him $2,000 for the stuff. So he's looking over $7,000. Now, that is a 150% waste of fucking money.
Sure.
There was already a fence going the whole mine is 105 feet. His is a foot longer on the end.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
So you know the move now.
No. I'd leave him alone. That's the move.
No, dude. He gave you the move back. Now you take yours down. Just enjoy his. Take yours down. Sell it.
I can't.
Send him a picture of the check that you got for the materials.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great idea, but no, I'm not.
Dude, that would be sick.
Because then he'd take his down. But the one thing that's funny is, though...
Then just hide yours. Act like you took it down. And then just put it right back up.
Act like-
Just spend 9 years of your life going back and forth, putting up and down fences.
I'm never doing this with a fence again. This is the best fence I ever put up. No. The one thing I can't understand, though...
I want you to take it down. I can't help it. I'm obsessed
The
with this idea
one
now.
thing I can't understand is, though, he had his... Well, he didn't have him. I heard the construction worker say he's going to leave the fence up a little higher so he could weed eat it. He doesn't understand this guy doesn't do stuff like that.
Yeah.
He makes everything. I mean, and it's. I'm not saying this is stupid because anything you work smarter, not harder, is always a great thing. But this guy, he doesn't like to weed eat, and nobody does. I don't, but I do it because it doesn't take long and
Right.
and it makes things look nice.
Sure.
But he's told the guy, no, we're going to put beauty rocks along there and not have to weed it. I'm like, great, but he went and the guy asked him. I heard him ask him, like, is this okay if we leave this up high so you can weed? And he's like, okay. But it's like 4 inches off the ground. I've never seen a fence like this. Now, I've seen other fences where they're up a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Kind of looks okay. But this is fence that's supposed to be about an inch and a half off the ground. And then it's up 4 inches. I mean, you can see feet. And I'm like, how are you ever going to put stone there? I don't think he's going to. I don't see how you do. I don't know. It's probably because, I mean, he's going to have to weed that. I know he doesn't want to weed it.
So is that space in between there technically yours then?
The space so the one end of the space, it splits the post like perfectly. So it's like 1.5 feet is mine, 1.5 feet is his.
Yeah.
And then as it goes down, then because mine is crooked, I get snuffed out and there's no yard. So I just have this like little pizza slice. So, but I still go back there with my weed eater, and I've had to do that a couple times now. But here's the kicker. So this is all in my head.
Yeah.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I can't believe this, But then it's been already a week or two, and I'm over it. Now I'm like, you know what? It's more air cushion between us.
Yeah.
It's just one less thing. I can actually walk on the other side of my fence. He can't see me. He might be able to see my feet because his fence is up so fucking high.
Right.
But he can't see me. Don't know what I'm doing. Whatever. But the survey guy, we only met this guy one time. He stopped by just yesterday. We were outside. He pops out. He's like, "Hey guys," and we're like, "Hey, how you doing?" He come in. He's like, "I was driving around. I seen the guy put the fence up." We're like, "Yeah, we don't know what's going on. We don't know why he did that. I mean, it's a huge waste of money. I mean, these things are not cheap.
Yeah.
Plus the survey he had to pay $500 to $700 to $800 for.
Sure.
It might almost $8,000 probably for that fence.
Probably.
So this guy, I don't know him at all.
Yeah.
He did our survey, spent a few days with us. He goes, "I've never seen nothing like that." He goes, "I've done a lot of things. I've surveyed a lot of shit." He goes, "Something's not quite right over there."
Yeah.
Those are his words. I mean, I didn't feed him that. That's a unbiased opinion. And because when I first talked to him, I was kind of explaining our situation. He goes, "Hey," he goes, "I really can't." He goes, "He could be the victim. You could be the victim. You're telling me one side." I said, "Hey, I understand that." I said, "I'm just telling you my side and what we've been through." He goes, "I get it." But he goes, "Once again, I don't know who's doing what," right? And that's exactly the truth.
100%.
Right. So for him to just pop out of the car and be like, "Yeah, he's got something wrong."
Guess what, bro? It's pretty funny.
I just don't get it, though. It is literally a waste of thousands. I mean, I know these people aren't doing... I mean, they're probably doing okay. They both work. Who cares? But why waste $8,000?
I have no idea.
Because ours was up a month and a half before. This wasn't like it was 2 days prior or after.
Yeah, I get it.
Why wouldn't you be like, okay, you know what? Okay, yeah, it's going to cost us $500 to cancel.
Yeah.
It's better than $8,000 on the fence or whatever. No, he just let them come in and do it.
I think you better just let crazy go on this one.
That's where I'm at. Like, is this a John Wayne Gacy? I mean, do we have something going on here that we don't know about? This guy's fucking really crazy. Seems like it. But
Well, hopefully that's the end of the saga then.
I wrote, now as I'm writing, this will be the final update. I'm hoping it's the final update.
It's the final
For one, I don't want to bore you with my bullshit, even though
I don't think it's boring. I think it's hilarious.
Even though it's kind of funny.
Everybody has or has had a piece of shit neighbor.
Oh,
I mean, that's just the reality. Especially anybody that's ever lived in a neighborhood.
yeah.
Like you've had one someplace.
So listen to this. We got the fence done on whatever day it was, way before. Like
Yeah.
I said, a month and a half before his went up.
Yeah.
And he had, I remember I told you on the story, he had the no trespassing sign in the space that our fence was going to be in. And it was there on a on a shepherd's hook. It was sitting there. No trespassing, private property. So obviously, fence goes up. We can't see that anymore. The very next morning, his just dumbass couldn't wait out there or run out there fast enough to pick that sign up and take it right to the end of our fence and pop it in just so we could still see it.
Feels about right.
He's like, "I still got you." We're like, "No, you don't. We cannot see that anywhere unless we're on the edge of our, by the end of the fence."
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
It's pretty funny.
But was kind of hoping that his fence would have went down all the way. Because now, if he doesn't put those little stones in there, he's going to be able to blow the leaves under the fence, in between the two fences, which I don't give a fuck. Listen, no one really cares about the in between anymore. There's going to be months where it's like grass up to my knees,
Right?
Because no one can see it, no one gives a fuck,
No one cares.
and there's going to be leaves in there because he's going to blow them through it, probably underneath. But at the same time, I'm like, God, if he would have just put his fence down, then he would have been out there going, oh no, because we've got 3 or 4 tall trees on my side that are just, and then they always blow into his yard. From high.
Yeah.
They're still going to do that. And I know I just wanted to imagine the look on his face when he's like, scratching the head. What the fuck am I going to do with these leaves now? But now, if he doesn't fix those if he doesn't put the stones in, he's going to blow those things right in between and be like, ha 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 ha. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. But yeah, final update. Enjoy, everybody. That's my life. Pip, pip, we got one more.
Crazy neighbors. Last one.
We're only at an hour and a half. We're doing good. Oh, this is an easy, fun one.
Okay.
I wanted you to think about this, but you're going to have to think about it on the fly. Let's do it live. It is your top. I'll give you a second to think about your top. We've done this before. Your top 5 sports, all sports, punch in the face list.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean. The guy that you're just, if I was next to you, like you're Aaron Rodgers of old.
Oh, I mean,
can you think of 5? A Jeopardy song.
5 people from sports that I absolutely cannot stand.
I'll give you a real quick one.
Yeah. We
The
can alternate.
Detroit Dodgers coach, formerly Houston Astros coach, AJ Hinch.
Not a fan.
Fuck that guy. He looks like he's got the prick written on his forehead.
Sure. It's still Brett Favre, number 1 for all time.
Well,
Won't change.
I kind of want current sports guys.
Oh, somebody that's not retired?
Yeah, doing it now. Like, I'll give you another one real quick, just so
Okay.
you can spark a flame. Odell Beckham Jr. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, not a fan.
Right hook, right between the nose and probably the jaw. No, I want him to feel it. I don't want to knock him out.
Yeah.
Nose, jaw,
Yeah.
teeth.
Yeah. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good question. I mean, because like the number of people that I like truly hate that are in sports right now.
Easy one. Draymond Green. Dude's a dick.
He is, but like I don't know. It's almost
You like Draymond?
I don't like him. I've never liked him. I'm never gonna like him. But like, I don't know. He's getting gray. He's one of the old guys. Like he had one season without everybody
Now's
being
the time
healthy.
to
He had
take
9
him.
points. Like
Now's the time to take him.
nah, I don't know. To me, he's just not like. I don't know. One of the guys I can't stand is Brown from the Celtics. Dude, he is like a young Dwayne Wade, where he just jumps into people and wants foul calls every time he touches the fucking ball. Like basically anybody that plays for the Celtics, I can't fucking stand. Like this version of the Celtics, I fucking hate.
Okay, I'll throw you one. This is a curveball here. Top 5 most respected players that are still playing.
That you respect?
Yeah, I'll give you one.
Yeah.
I fucking hate the Yankees, but how can you not respect Aaron Judge?
I mean, if you're gonna go that route, it's fucking Garrett Cole. That dude's been a top 5 pitcher in baseball for what, a decade now?
Get off his nuts.
Dude, you know it
Get
too.
off Garrett Cole's nuts. He sucks this year. Oh, and by the way, you crying.
He was hurt all year.
Burns is a horrible pitcher this year. Whatever.
What?
You told me the other day, well, that trade isn't working all that out for me.
Dude, that dude's been lit up I don't know how many times this year.
He's still
Not that he doesn't have good outings, but
all-star starter.
no, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
He didn't start the
He
All-Star game.
did.
Was his manager the coach? Is that why?
No.
That doesn't seem accurate.
Yes. Anyways,
Yeah. I can't fucking stand Shohei Ohtani. Can't fucking stand
you
him.
want to punch him in the face?
I would punch Shohei in the face so hard.
God.
Cannot fucking stand
Give me
him.
one guy respect. We'll go both end of the spectrum here.
Like, are we looking for like a veteran player or just like anybody
I
that's
just
fucking
gave you
playing
one.
right
Aaron
now?
Judge, respect. You said Cole, Garrett
Yeah.
Cole.
Jokic from Denver.
Okay, yeah.
Looks like the Pillsbury Doughboy and smooth as butter, 40 points a night.
Yeah.
Triple-double king. Love that guy.
I'm saying, like, if you didn't have a team, you could root for that guy.
I could root for that guy.
Yeah,
If
that's what
I
I'm
wasn't
saying.
a Dallas fan.
Right.
Because I've been a Dallas fan for 25,
Right.
30 years, whatever it's been now. Like, that's a guy I would totally root for.
Yeah.
100%. Big
Alex
fan.
Bredman. punch in the fucking face.
Yeah, he's a jerk.
What a little dick.
Yeah, can't handle that guy.
He's my size too. We could go.
Yeah, I
He'd
don't
probably
like him.
Beat me, but that's okay.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not a fan of that guy.
I'm sorry. I still, you know what? You know, this is the funny part. Like we'll be
Altuve.
yeah, we will be watching the fucking games, and something will happen, and I'll say something, and Caden's like, "What?" I'm like, "You know why?" He goes, "Okay, well, it's either two things. He was either a 2017 Astro or a 2016 Cub."
Right.
And I'm like, "It was a Cub." He's like, "Yeah, I hate that guy too." Then
Yeah. Oh, Chapman,
Chapman.
the closer for the Cubs.
No, see, that's a guy I respect.
Yeah, that dude's played for 97 different teams. Has like 9 rings.
He was a hired hand, and we took his cohort that year, Andrew Miller.
Yeah.
Remember, they both left the Yankees. Yankees were sellers. Holy shit! What?
Right.
No, I mean, how can you not? At that time, he was the only guy throwing 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
How do you not?
I know he's a homer, but like, it's hard to not have a lot of respect for Joe Deli. Like that dude is like, he's not just an all-star, he's an all-star human being. And then he knocked out one of the biggest assholes in the entire league. Like the one time that guy gets in a fight ever as being the best guy ever.
Why you gotta steal my thunder?
He actually lands a clean right.
I was gonna put. I have Tim Anderson on here. And I'm like, oh wait, it's already been done.
Oh, I wasn't stealing thunder. We were just talking.
Jesus, no, that was a great moment, a highlight. You know, the old
It's
days.
like watching Cal Ripken knock somebody out.
You
though.
know, like in the old days when they were like the agony of defeat.
Yeah.
You know, all this shit, and then they show some guy winning the gold.
Yeah.
That was it. That would be on there. Kapow.
Yeah. I'll tell you somebody else like that I respect, and again, kind of an abstract thing. If you didn't watch the Olympics, you're not gonna know who she is. But Katie Ledecky, I don't know if you know who she is.
Yes.
She's one of our swimmers, dude. This
She's
chick,
been winning for years.
but dude, it's not even just that she wins. It's like the dominance. Like watching her in that 1500.
But she's done now, right?
I think that like she said this is gonna be the last one. But dude, even that, like, dude, watching her in that 1500, just like lapping the field, it was crazy. I'm just like sitting there watching. I'm like, can you imagine being that much better? Or like, have you seen our girl that won the 400 hurdles? She was like the top 20 times ever ran in it. Like the top 20, they're all hers.
That's great.
She's broke her own world record like a dozen times. I'm like, that's insane.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like, how does that happen? Like, I love seeing people that are that much better than the field every once in a while. I mean, unless it's somebody that for some reason they're just so pricky that you can't understand them. Like, I love seeing like greatness personified.
I do too, but I get scared because when they're that much better, you're just waiting. Like, oh no, don't get tested. Don't get tested.
Oh, don't get tested. Listen to you.
No, I just worry about it because, you know, I mean, occasionally we've seen it where greatness is just like, you know, abound.
Yeah.
You can't, like Michael Jordan, whatever, right?
Yeah.
You just know.
Yeah.
Give him the ball.
Yeah. I'll give you one more because he's not technically retired at this point.
Okay.
Fuck Conor McGregor.
Oh yeah.
That fucking guy had it fucking all handed to him by the fucking fans. It's like fought in like the most watered down, shitty version of any fucking division we've ever seen. Things get fucking hard, and now he's just a fucking drunk on a fucking boat. Keeps talking about coming back. You know, apparently had a fucking toe injury 16 days before his last fight. Hasn't fought in 3 years. Like fuck you, man. Like we gave you everything as fans, like all the pay-per-view money, all that fucking shit for you to go out there and talk shit and fight and get arrested and all this bullshit. Like you blew the second half of your career being a fucking moron.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
I got a 2016 Cub,
Oh gosh.
Javi Baez. What a
man.
dick.
He was a fucking Indian killer though, wasn't he?
Well, I thought it was kind of neat at the time because it was him and Lindor were like they grew up together.
Yeah.
But what a dick.
Yeah. Well, right. Same. I don't know if he was on the Astros in 17, but dude, never fucking liked Verlander. From his time in Detroit and then his time in Houston and then getting traded back to Houston, like, fuck this guy. Like, I know that it's great that he was the fucking mess and then he got his life together and but fuck Verlander. Like,
Listen,
can't root for that guy.
I have obviously he was a Detroit Tiger. He was arch rival. They were kicking everybody's ass. Him and Max Scherzer on the same team for
2014.
Detroit. They went to the World Series twice. I don't know if that.
What happened in 14? That's weird.
No, they didn't win.
No, they didn't. San Francisco.
But what I'm saying is, I have more respect for Verlander than I do want to punch him.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's kind of like, and he came back out of nowhere. I think he's probably done now.
I don't know. I'm just saying, still not a guy that I root for, ever. Right?
I'm trying to think of some other ones. I was talking about somebody with my son, and I'm like, that guy, that's a respect guy.
Yeah.
But I can't put my finger on
Yeah.
it.
You know who's not? If you took one coach, I'm going to take one coach. Fuck Greg Popovich. Can't, dude. Him and Steve Kerr together, fucking
You don't like Popovich?
fuck both of those guys. Pompous
I
fucking
don't care
mouthy
about
fucking
Kerr.
dickwads.
Kerr rode the
Can't
coattails
fucking
of-
handle either one of those guys.
Why?
Because they just act like their fucking shit don't stink. Like, I'm sorry you had to coach probably the all-time great power forward on one team and the all-time second best point guard. Me and Sujin argue about this because I will not concede that Steph is better than Magic. I'm sorry, I can't do it. Magic's the greatest point guard of all time. It's not close. He can play center, he could play guard, he could play forward, shoot threes, play defense, was the all-time assist leader when he retired, and he only played, what 10 years because he got AIDS? Fucking Magic, dog. Magic's the fuck what's up. Fucking kills me. We talk about this all the fucking time. Fucking ride Steph's nuts. Like that dude couldn't defend me in a phone booth. You know?
Steph?
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Oh, come on.
Fuck that guy.
Who do you think you are?
Huh?
I'm not an idiot.
Right.
That guy's pretty good.
I'd be Draymond to him. I'd just be bag tagging him and shit.
I probably add Steph Curry to the list. I mean, I've seen his when he
For
said
respect?
no, for fucking punch in the face.
Fuck that guy.
When he said, now this is funny though because it came back to fucking haunt him that year.
Yeah.
But the year that the Cavs won, 2016, he said they asked him about going back to Cleveland. He goes, "Oh, I love Cleveland. It still smells like champagne in the locker room, in the away locker room."
That's a pretty good line though, man.
Oh no, amazing
I mean,
line.
that's a pretty good line.
A great line, but oh,
Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Yeah, I don't remember that. Like that's good.
those are things that I cannot forget that moment ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
You dick.
Yeah.
But yeah, good line.
Yeah. The only other guy is Tom Aspinall. If you don't know that name, learn it. He's like on the verge of like fighting for the heavyweight title in the UFC. And like this guy's trying to call out John Jones. It's like, dude, have some fucking respect. You fucking blew your shoulder out like 2 fights ago. Like, get the fuck out of here.
How about Jake Paul? Did you ever fight Tyson?
No, but I don't have a problem with either one of the Paul brothers. Like
No,
those guys are smart.
The older one,
Logan?
kind of a dick, or I'll call him a douche.
Yeah.
But Jake getting in there and actually fighting guys, he holds his own pretty well.
So I'm saying I don't mind those guys. Those guys.
I mean, because he's putting his
those guys were smart enough to take. Those guys were smart enough to take fame, actually train, to have some skill in a ring because they are both athletic.
Yeah.
And then turn that into a whole nother realm of profit. I think it's one of the most impressive things I've ever seen from an entertainment perspective.
just from a couple of punks on YouTube.
Yeah, those guys making buku dollars, crazy money.
I gotta throw some respect for that. Yeah, I think that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
All right, let's wrap it up and get out of here.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think we're done.
Bam.
Boom. I'm gonna access the phone real quick.
Yes.
That I don't know how to use properly.
You don't.
No, it's because I need to make sure I say this. Hey, if you got some problems, you got some stuff going on upstairs in your noggin, some stuff just needs to be straightened out. If you're really struggling with something mentally, please don't be afraid. Pick up the phone. It's 1-800-662-4357. That is the National Mental Health Awareness Hotline. Somebody's going to be there.
Absolutely. So if you're having bad thoughts about hurting yourself or others, or just can't kick that substance abuse problem, pick up the phone, call the number. Somebody will be there to help you.
That's right. Thanks for joining us. Talk to you again real soon.
Pip, pip.
Cheerio.